Welcome back to another loot from video. This time we're heading over to the Slayer Tower to kill some gargoyles. Gargoyles are a really good monster in general, but they drop especially good supplies for Ironman, which we'll get into a bit later. The setup I'm going to be using is Proselyte for the prayer bonus, as I will be pray and protect from melee to make this more AFK. The Slayer helm to pass the other inspectors, Dragon boots, Barrow's gloves, Fury, Fire cape, Leaf-bladed battle axe because they are weak to crush, and of course the Dragon Defender. The Leaf-bladed battle axe is better than a whip at gargoyles as they are weak to crush, and a whip is slash, but if you have a bludgeon then that beats a Leaf-bladed battle axe. As for my inventory, it's pretty basic. I have a super attack and super strength potion. Super defense isn't needed, so I'm not going to use super combats, along with 2 prayer potions to start. You will definitely need alks for gargoyles, so I have my rune pouch with nature runes and lore runes, and some house tabs for banking. A holy wrench would be helpful if you have one, as it gives you 1 extra prayer point per dose. Finally, a gem bag for rare drop table rolls. I forgot to mention, but I will be wearing the Ring of Wealth, as it picks up coins for you, making this a little more AFK, which will also increase the chance of getting gem drops. The most important thing to remember is your rock hammer. You won't kill anything without it. I definitely wouldn't recommend doing this grind if you haven't unlocked the Auto Smasher from the Slayer Master, as gargoyles require 75 Slayer to kill. You've likely already done this. I'll be tracking my kills using the Slayer ring, as the loot tracker will be inaccurate from the Ring of Wealth automatically collecting coins. Now let's get started. During the clips, you will see the rough kill count on screen. So if you're interested in the supplies from 1000 gargoyles for example, you can see a rough amount of items I've already obtained in my inventory. There's 2 areas which you can kill gargoyles, one being on the top of the tower, which you can see me using, and in the basement. However, the basement area is a Slayer only area. I should also warn you that to get to the top of the tower, you have to pass aberrant spectres, which will drain your stats if you aren't wearing a nose peg or a Slayer helm, so be wary of that, especially if you're a hardcore. Gargoyles are still a pretty common monster for people to have alt accounts for, to AFK on the side. They require 75 Slayer to kill and are pretty AFK, requiring not much GP to camp in gear, as you could see with my setup. The best method though is using full Guthans, as you benefit from the healing effect, saving money on supplies. Recently, one of the main drops from gargoyles, the Granite Maul, rose in price and now sits at a nice 145k. It used to sit around alt value of 30k, so that for sure increases your profit. If you're on an Ironman and are in need of GP, it might be worth dropping those over to your main towards bond GP. Alking them loses you 110k, which is pretty significant. So why might it be a good idea to AFK gargoyles on an Ironman? You could do this while doing schoolwork for example, or just making sure that you do your Slayer tasks. Well, the loot that gargoyles drop are incredible for Ironmen. Let's start with the amount of coins and alks that they drop. They drop a variety of adamant and runite items, which alk for a good amount of GP. As you can see, the GP stack in my inventory is growing nicely from the alks, as well as the coin drops from gargoyles themselves, which range from 400 GP to 10k at a time. Gargoyles also drop runes, which you wouldn't think is too exciting, but the 3 runes that they drop, being Fire, Chaos and Death, are the 3 runes that you will need for your trident in the future when you achieve 87 Slayer. Therefore, you will find collecting up these runes to be useful for the future, maybe even useful now if you use an Iban's staff for the Fire and Death runes. Chaos runes can also be used for Tockle to buy your Onyx for a Fury if you don't have one yet. Now, the best loots that you can get from gargoyles is 100% the resource drops. For an Ironman, they are so useful. The gold ore stacks up very nicely and is the best smithing XP in the game with the goldsmith gauntlets. You can also use the runite ore drops, which you probably won't find very useful for a while, but over time they stack up for some nice late game XP. If you haven't yet unlocked Zulrah, then gargoyles are a great source of pure essence for the dreaded 77 runecrafting grind, dropping 150 at a time. Finally, the gold, steel and mithril bars. Gold bars are the least useful resource, however the steel and mithril bars in my opinion are the best drops. Steel bars are incredibly nice to get for making cannonballs for other Slayer tasks. Cannonballs are so nice to have, but getting the steel bars can be irritating, as no one wants to spend their time smithing steel bars, let's be honest. Finally, the mithril bars. They can be used for smithing XP, making plate bodies, but more importantly, they are great for making mithril darts for your blowpipe. Mithril darts are quite commonly used on the Dragon Warhammer grind. Last of all, gargoyles have a 1 in 128 chance of dropping hard clue scrolls. In 5000 kills, you can expect 40 hard clue caskets if you can do all the steps, and if you can't do all the steps, you should still have a good chance at completing a few clue scrolls. If you've been playing an Ironman for a while, which is likely if you have 75 Slayer, then you know there are a few unique items that you need from hard clue scrolls in order to complete other clue steps, such as the Rune Heraldic Shield, Rune Heraldic Helm, and the Black Dragon Mask. You can also get headbands, stoles and croziers, but they are possible from other clue tiers as well. You also have a 1 in 15 chance of getting a Master Clue Scroll. This should be kill number 5000. Let's check the ring to make sure we've definitely done 5000. There we go, 5000. Let's go to the bank and see what we've made and how much XP we have banked. This should be quite a lot. First of all, the rough amount of supplies I used were 200 prayer potions and 100 super strengths and super attack potions. If you aren't comfortable on prayer potions, you can easily do this with food as well, as that's easier to get. If you're using Guthans, then you shouldn't need much at all. I've put all the loots in my inventory, including the hard clues I managed to complete. We got 38 hard clue drops, but I couldn't complete them all. I'll put up the exact loots we got on the left hand side. Because I was wearing a ring of wealth, you won't see the coin drops. So I'll put everything in the price checker so you can see the exact value, which is 18.7 mil. That's a pretty good amount of GP. Of course, if you're an Ironman, you don't care about the GP value, but the supplies we gathered. So let's break those down. First of all, we got almost 10 mil in coins, which, although coins aren't that useful on an Ironman, they're useful for things such as miscellanea and paying to restock runes. Talking about runes, we got a really nice amount of fire, chaos and death runes. 65k fire, almost 9k chaos runes, and over 3k death runes. Now, assuming you're using Ivan's staff still as your best in slot before Trident, you would have over 3000 casts and chaos runes left over for a future Trident, or maybe to buy Toggle for an Onyx. If you were using a Trident, it would be over 3000 casts as well, but you would be using an equal number of chaos runes to death runes. Now onto the pure essence. We've got over 30,000. Now I've done some math for you on the rough amount of XP this would be for some of the most common rune crafting methods. With lava runes, it would give you 319,725 XP. CMI would be roughly 395,850 XP. That's only an estimate, as the XP per essence at CMI changes with your level. Astrals would get you 264,915 XP, and nature runes would get you 274,050 XP. Pure essence after 77 rune crafting does become pretty useless, but unfortunately you will need quite a bit of it to get to 77, unless you plan on doing tiers of Gothics for years. But on to more interesting supplies. In my opinion, the best supply drop is the gold ore because of how much XP it can give you. Without the goldsmith gauntlets, you get 22.5 XP per bar. However, with the gauntlets, you get 56.2 XP per bar, which is what's amazing about this method. On screen I'll put up the XP from both with and without the gauntlets. You would get 128k XP without the gauntlets, but you would get 322k XP with the gauntlets. I honestly wouldn't recommend using the gold ore without the gauntlets, unless you were a snowflake account and will never be able to get them. You can also use the gold bars for some crafting XP, making unstrung gold amulets, which isn't recommended, but as some AFK crafting XP isn't bad, especially at low levels. As for the runite ore, you likely won't be using that for a while, but making them into bars would get you 4.2k XP, or you can jot them over for bond GP. Finally, onto the mithril and steel bars. If you were to make mithril plate bodies using the bars, you would get 48k XP. As an Ironman though, who has already 75 Slayer, I would doubt you'd be making plate bodies. Instead, you'll most likely be using them for dart tips, which would instead bank you 48,000 smithing XP, along with 107,000 fletching XP, which I think is a much better deal. Last of all, the steel bars, which I am the most excited about after using up all my cannonballs on the Mossy Key grind. Cannonballs are just so nice to have on any account. 3.6k steel bars would make 14.5 thousand cannonballs, which will last a while for Slayer tasks and other tedious grinds. The rest are just miscellaneous supplies. It's up to you if you want to alch the Mystic and Granite Mauls, or drop them for bond GP. As I mentioned earlier, Granite Mauls are currently 110k GP loss when alched. Now to the hard clue caskets. I'm excited about these, as I do still need blessed D-hide pieces. I currently only have boots and chaps. A Zami piece would be great for Sarah. If you look into the collection log, you'll see that I have had other blessed d'hide pieces, but unfortunately they were before I got hacked. Anyways, we have 36 out of 158 items, so quite a few uniques that we can still obtain. So let's open these up. Right then, let's see what we can get. Average clue. Ooh, I already have boots, but they're actually quite nice. Couple of uniques, I'm not sure if I've got those ones. Oh, it tells me if it's a new collection log item. That's cool. So we've got 3 already. Wow, we're getting all of the Armadillo. I don't think I have a coif yet. I'm not sure if they're very useful, but I'll take it. Oh yes, I haven't got body. That matches my Sarah d'hide boots as well. That should be quite good for Sarah. Although I think I need some Zamorak d'hide as well. And I'm pretty sure that's new. Oh yeah, look, it says in the chat box that's also new. I'm getting some good luck here. Wait, yes! That's a Master Clue item, I'm pretty sure. I wasn't expecting to get that, but I'm pretty sure that's a Master Clue item. That's going to be really good. I've never had any 3rd age or gilded, but I'm definitely not expecting to get any. Looks like we're going back to normal hard clue scrolls rewards. Ooh, what's that? Enchanted robe. Oh, that's also new. Don't see those very often. Plate body tee. Getting a lot of blessings. Oh, more boots. I'm not sure if ancient ones are very useful though. I'll take it. Wow, we're getting all of the masks. Cavalier. Right, on to the last 5. Nothing. Nothing. Oh, another coif. And a stole. Oh, they're both new. Still no Zamorak item. What on earth is that? Oh, Cyclops head. Last one for a Zamorak piece? No. Well, we did get a lot of uniques. Let's check out what we got. I think we filled up quite a few slots. Let's take a look and see how many new uniques we got. Wow, we got 10. That's pretty good, right? I don't open high clues very often, but I'm pleased with that. And we also got the Zamorak full helm, which is a master clue requirement. I already had some boots, but I'm really happy that we got a body, and the coif might come in handy sometime. I think there is a master clue requirement for a dragon mask, but I'm pretty sure it's the black one. On the left I'll put up all the loots that we got from the clue scrolls. It was worth 6.6 mil, which is pretty good. I'll probably drop some of it over to my main, such as the pages, as I've completed those books. I really hope you enjoyed this loot from video. I tried to make them as informative and interesting as possible. I would love to hear your feedback down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe, as I do put a lot of time and effort into these videos, and I hope it shows. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.